Did you get stretch marks after kids? And if you didn't, what did you use that helped? So I kind of like answering these more personal questions. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. I did use several different products. I found one, or I had one like belly cream, like product that was marketed specifically to help with stretch marks. And there was something in the ingredients that I had a pretty significant reaction to. So I just stopped using that product. I couldn't tell you what was in it. Just like my skin was not happy having that on my belly. Now I do tend to have more sensitive skin. Like I fairly often break out with eczema on my hands. So that could be a reason why I had a particular time with that particular like belly butter stretch mark prevention cream. But once I did have that reaction, I tried several different like natural products. Like I tried coconut oil, I used coconut lotion, coconut butter. I did sometimes try like Vaseline, just to try to help with any moisture or itching that like irritation that may have occurred as I was getting bigger. Now, the other thing is like I'm very petite and my torso is very short. So I just kind of think that it didn't necessarily matter what I used, that it wasn't an issue with the products. It was just like, I don't know that there could have been anything that I have done that would have prevented stretch marks from occurring because of my stature. But I would say that I kind of going into my pregnancy, I was kind of concerned about getting stretch marks. Like I didn't really want to have stretch marks, but it was really on the after part of being pregnant and kind of like going through postpartum and like realizing like, I'll say it this way. Stretch marks do not impact how I see or perceive my body now that I'm on the other side of having kids. Because there's so much that happens when you go through like being pregnant and then postpartum, and your body changes so much that I was never the type of person that I wouldn't wear a bikini to the beach. Like I was fairly clothed. I still am. Like I just don't prefer showing that portion of my body. Like, so for me, having stretch marks, I will say that I do feel like they have faded, even though I've done nothing to try to get them to fade. But also like, they don't really bother me. Like I wouldn't say that it's something that impacts my self-image, but I would say that as I've gotten older, there are other things that as I've aged, I have noticed more that do impact my image more. If that's something that you're like, if your thought process behind your question is more like how you perceive your personal body and how that reflects on you. One of the things that I did notice going throughout my pregnancy, and they often say like, oh, your hair gets fuller, your nails get stronger, and then after you have had your child, you may notice that you're losing your hair. It may be more brittle, it may be more frail, like your nails, if they were harder or more firm, will return to their natural density. That is what they were prior to you being pregnant. And I would say that's what I've definitely experienced. And I have also heard that some moms have experienced like their hair turning gray or more gray while or shortly after they were pregnant. And I would say that like I didn't experience my hair turning gray, but I definitely experienced the hair loss, which I have very thin hair as it is. Like my hair is more, I would say it has more volume, but it is relatively thin. And so I can kind of help make it look a little fuller than it actually is. So that was something that I was kind of more so concerned about when, coming outside of postpartum was the hair loss, because that's something that I'm seeing every day in the mirror. I'm seeing my hair thin. I'm experiencing it more than just like, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm seeing that physical change more often than I am like seeing my body in a full body mirror, seeing those stretch marks on like several times a day because I'm covered up. Whereas like, depending on if that's part of your like natural normal routine, like once you get on the other side of being pregnant, I would just encourage you to like give yourself a lot of grace. Your body did something completely amazing. And I don't know a single woman that kind of comes outside, or at least on the other side of giving birth, not looking different than how they were prior to birth. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have, like mommy makeovers and, plastic surgery and, you know, all like tummy tucks and all of that stuff, because I think that people that, especially celebrities that we often see in, you know, newspapers and magazines, we don't necessarily know what they have done as like corrections on the other side of being pregnant that we aren't seeing because they've had something to cover it up. So I would say that if that's something that you are internally judging yourself against, is like, oh, you want to look exactly the same, or, oh, other people, you know, look the same or better after they have, you know, given birth, and you're trying to hold yourself up to that standard, just like I said, just give yourself lots of grace. But no, I would say that I did not find anything that personally helped me with stretch marks, but that's also kind of like how I guess react to having stretch marks. They don't bother me. I would say they have faded, they have gotten a lot smaller, and, you know, my body has definitely changed going through postpartum. Postpartum, is that right? Now I'm trying to think, is like that different from like menopausal? Yeah. Menopause and postpartum are completely separate. So if you have some suggestions, I would love for you to drop them below for other moms, especially if you have like a cream or a body butter or something that you have found that really worked wonders for you to prevent stretch marks, like let us know. But here on this channel, we take questions from moms for moms. So if you have a question you would like to discuss, you can either drop it in the comments or you can use that link anonymously posted below to submit it, and hopefully we'll chat about your question soon.